Let's talk about the market now, because I think this is important. Look, persistent inflation is here. It's going to be here. So anyone that says, "Oh, inflation! Oh my goodness, it's terrible. It's going to be terrible." Actually, inflation has been here for the last decade. In case you haven't noticed, we've been printing money like it's going out of fashion, and what that does is it creates inflation. Inflation devalues the currency. So if you've got cash, inflation is good for property when you have a mortgage, because that debt is deflated away. This is why the government wants inflation. They want a good, healthy level of inflation. Why? Because it means that the debts they incur get paid for with future dollars. Same as we do. Now, the risk with inflation, for the most part, now, if it's huge inflation, fair enough, that's a totally different thing. But if we're talking about, measurable inflation, then, yes, interest rates are going to increase. That's not a problem. You can build that into your cash flow. And by building it into your cash flow up front, we use a thing called mortgage cost averaging. Now, we used to say mortgage cost averaging was an average of 6%. Yeah? I don't know anyone that's paying 6% for a mortgage right now. It just, now, 2%, 3%. In Asia, you're getting 1%, So yes, interest rates may go up, and you have to allow for them. That is part of our equation. It's part of our formula. It's part of our 2-year cash flow, yeah? So you allow for that. That should not stop you investing, yeah? That should just be something that you do as a matter of course. Crash is likely, but, and I've put stagflation is a risk, but. Crash is like, look, there is always a crash on the horizon, yeah? You can sit there and go, well, I'm not going to buy because of that. I'm going to wait until after it crashes. And you know what? There'll always be an excuse, yeah? But you've got to get over that. What can you do? You can mitigate those risks as always, yeah? And actually, the positive thing is a lot of areas in the UK haven't gone up massively, yeah? I look at Australia where, some of their prices are going up 40, 45%, 20% house prices have gone up, this year, or in the last year, COVID-wise. We haven't had that. Really, we haven't had that virtually anywhere. Maybe certain things, up, commuter towns and things like that getting out. But in actual fact, we have not had that. So the likelihood of us having a massive crash, for the most part, a lot of houses in the UK have not increased in value since the global financial crisis, which was over 10 years ago. Yeah? Over 10 years, as in 13, 14 years ago, So the crash is likely to happen at some point, yeah? It will happen. We account for that. We mitigate for that. Stagflation is a risk. Again, stagflation is where you have rising prices, but economic activity is dropping, yeah? Unemployment's increasing, so, and really that's probably worse than a crash. A crash generally will happen, boom, and in 2 years we can come out of that. Yeah, but you look at what governments are doing now. They're now not having this 2 years out. They're pumping money into the equation, which obviously creates more inflation. So that's why I say persistent inflation. Persistent inflation is here. Inflation is going to stay. The question is what will interest rates go to? Yeah, how long will they be? Stay higher, and at what level will they stay higher? And once you kind of look at that, and you look at the reality of that, and you look at the amount of debt that people have nowadays, you realise that actually, can interest rates go to 17%? I doubt it. And I doubt it because the likelihood of that happening, it would grind the economies around the world to a massive halt, which is not what any government wants. What have they been doing? What's the result? They've just been inflating, printing more money, printing more money. That's been the result, which has allowed this crash not to happen. Yeah, you've got the little crashes and that sort of stuff, but not a massive crash where we have, a whole decade lost. Could it happen? Yeah, it could, absolutely. You have long-term debt cycles and things like that. But, these are all things that we work with you and we work through and we mitigate as much as possible.